Hi, and welcome to Hypothetically Intentional, where we ask the question, what if we set intentions with everything we do? I'm your host, Michelle Albers, and today I have Don Jenkins of Upward Facing Don back with me again. Thank you for joining again, Don.
It's always awesome to be with you, Michelle.
It's so great. So we came up with an intention in our very brief trying to wake up conversation. The intention for this podcast is to drop in and be human together.
Yeah. How many people in your life do you have that you can simply just be with?
Right.
No
And
performing, no
right.
showing off, no apologizing.
Just humaning, as we made up the word when we were.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think being human, I don't know if it's the stories we tell ourselves or the programming and the conditioning that happens or the all the different moving parts, but I think it comes with a lot of layers of expectations and judgment and on self or others, right?
Absolutely.
And needs, like needs and desires to, well, I think it's probably to be accepted or to be loved or to feel okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I am called to talk about the generational stuff that happens.
Yeah.
Like that for generations, we had to be told how to be together as humans so that norms and mores were met and people knew what to expect from each other.
Hmm.
And I think that we are in a time right now where we're kind of pushing some of that aside and opening up our perspective on what it means to be human. Like my colleagues and my students are sometimes much younger than me, and they grew up recently talking about taking your whole self to work.
Oh, wow.
And I remember very distinctly having jobs 30 years ago where my boss said, you go ahead, have your life, have your feelings, have your things, and don't bring them here.
Isn't that interesting? Because when we leave work, the story we tell ourselves is, I don't want to bring work home.
Right.
So
Yeah.
don't bring your shit to work. Don't bring your work shit home. Like you have to
Yeah.
compartmentalize all of it, you know?
Which is how we bypass processing and feeling any of it.
Right.
Right. Uh, my husband just started watching Severance. Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Not to give total spoilers, but the premise of it is that these people undergo something in their brain so that they have a work self and they have an rest of their life selves outside of work.
Oh, wow.
And the information is not shared. It's the
Oh,
ultimate compartmentalization.
wow.
Yeah. And I watched it, even though I try and make myself not watch dystopian things. I don't need any more reinforcement for that theme right now. Um,
Oh, gosh.
and the thing that really struck me is that if you have these two different parts of yourselves that can't communicate, are you fully human?
Mm.
Because we take purpose from our work. We didn't necessarily grow up with this idea that we could take purpose from our being.
Yeah, I feel like we're heavily focused on the doing and less focused on the being.
Yeah.
And where does where does our human come into that? You know?
Yeah. You know, you've heard the expression, I'm the job,
Hmm.
right? Or I think we've even talked about this before. Studying other languages, you get to hear a different global perspective on being, because in Spanish, there's two different forms. There's ser and a star. One is permanent, one is temporary. And
Hmm.
feelings are always the temporary one. It's very Buddhist. And in English, I am sad. It's,
It's an identity.
yeah, it's all encompassing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of, I feel sad,
Right.
or I am the vast blue sky where a cloud of sad is moving through.
Right. Yeah. I think it's so funny that we sat down on the mic and we're both like, hang on. I just need to be human for a minute. It's like, and to be fair, we're going to be human this whole time on this mic, which is true
Right.
always, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
but we were both, I think we were just seeing each other in a way of like, it's okay. We get to be human, and that means maybe it feels messier, or we might. I'm not speaking for you. I'm not even speaking for me in this moment. I'm speaking like just like possibilities of like we might be landing in judgment like, oh, I didn't prepare enough for this podcast, or oh, I'm not camera ready, which is okay because it's audio only, or
Woohoo.
oh, my desk is a mess, just like whatever it is. But I think it's easy when you're like, I don't feel like I have to do a bunch of preparing to sit down and share time on a mic with my friend who also happens to be an expert in the job that she is and isn't, right?
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing, but that's not how my life has always been. And there still are those pockets of time, right? Where I think I apologized to you for like not being ready or something. And you were like, be human. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm humaning. I kind of forgot. Like.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of this idea of letting go of all of those
Hmm.
roles and responsibilities. It gets into asmita in yoga, that false understanding of who we are or mistaken understanding of who we are, and realizing that this moment, this is me.
Yeah. And why does it have to look a certain way?
I don't know. I think sometimes I come across as curated, but that's not really. I
Right.
don't know how to dose myself out.
I just feel like we've giggled so much together that like I hear you saying that, but I'm like, and it doesn't take too terribly long when people spend time with you to pick up pretty fast that curated, sure, and also super playful and fun, and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's and I think being human is complicated, and I think there's a lot of moving parts, and I think both those things are required to be
yeah,
curated and to be lighthearted and playful and fun.
yeah. I mean, it's this idea that, I mean, well, it's January and people are going to be motivated to go to the gym. I saw them all yesterday when I went and taught a class.
Was it jam packed? Was it way
It
more
is.
full than
It is
usual?
every January. You see faces that you only see a couple times a year in January, which is not a judgment. It happens.
Yeah.
And then those things fall off. And that's okay because you can try things, you can play things, you can be becoming all through the year.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you have to be something different than what you are right now. It's just being
Bingo.
in the flow of becoming.
Well, and I think about that. It's like, what is it about the new year that's so inspiring that can't be found other times of the year? And
I
then
think it's the commercials.
and I go to the place of, is it inspiring or is it like, for me, when I used to do a resolutions and I just have understood that they're not really like a resolution isn't super coming from a healthy place for me.
Sure.
They were coming from judgment and not self-kindness. They were coming from I have to be better. I have to do better. I have to like I'm not good enough as I am, and that's such bullshit. Not to
Yeah.
say that I don't want to improve or do things to support and nurture myself and make life a little easier and less painful on some level, but I don't know. It's like, what is it about January? I mean, is it the commercials? Because let's do more of those. Because to be inspired is a beautiful thing, especially to be
Right?
to like take care of ourselves and to offer ourselves compassion and kindness and to have some gumption and go get them.
Yes. But I mean, the money is not behind that. No one's going to spend, $5 million for a Super Bowl commercial to tell you that you're good just as you are, that you have the opportunity to grow, but you're still just fine. You're doing the best you can, and we all get it.
What? You mean we're not worth the millions of dollars Super Bowl commercial? Come on,
I
then.
think we are.
Yeah.
I just think that, there's a lot of money made by shaming people,
Oh gosh.
and in
I
particular
just
women.
totally rolled my eyes into the back of my head too, by the way.
Yeah,
This is not a visual podcast, right? But like I
right,
100% did the eye roll thing where my mom would have been like, Michelle.
right. Sometimes you have to go shark.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh gosh.
Right?
That's a struggle. And also, I feel like the more I observe my humanness, the more I see those things or even feel those things, witness them. And then it's kind of like, I mean, I don't necessarily absorb it in this. I'm not saying I never absorb it, but I don't absorb
Sure.
it in the same way I used to. And
Yeah.
I feel like the number of times in my life that I didn't even catch it or notice it. Like, no wonder I felt so shitty about myself all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
because I was being guilt and shamed to death. I'm not that makes it sound like I'm totally blaming other people or just blaming the world. But I'm just saying as another layer of adding to what already feels uncomfortable and messy to
Sure.
just like, oh, here's another thing to validate that I am uncomfortable, messy, and not enough.
Yeah. And it's not always the obvious things because obviously people don't subscribe to magazines so much anymore, right?
Right.
People are turning away somewhat from organizations that require strict adherence to what are they called? High, not high need organizations, high demand organizations.
Mm.
We won't name those. High demand organizations. Um, we're turning away from that, I think, and so the messages that come through that are shaming or telling us we need to change are more insidious. Like, I think I'm going to turn on HGTV and be inspired about what color to paint a room, and what I get is shame because I have old furniture and I don't have
Oh,
hardwood floors, and
oh, that's fascinating. Now, do you think that's their messaging, or I'm going to just use it like your conditioning, or both?
it's always the lens that we're looking through.
Sure.
But if there was no one making money from the messages being sent, they wouldn't keep being sent.
Yeah. Yeah. And then on the flip side of that, it's like, is it such a terrible thing to want to be in a space that is aesthetically pleasing to you? And if yours looks like old furniture and a new color on your walls, and theirs looks like the word posh is coming in, which I don't really know what that
Sure.
says about me, but
Uh,
I
you're
don't know.
you're a secret Brit fan. Uh, you know, some of it is like this expectation that maybe this is not from television, maybe this is not from social media, maybe it's from my background that by a certain age you will live in a place of a certain standing with certain, and I mean, what does that have to do with people who are unhoused?
Yeah.
It's like there's this level of delusion keeping us going through life, feeling
Gosh.
insecure, focusing on the wrong things, spending our money on the wrong things.
Certainly things that don't serve a purpose for us. They
Right?
just sort of perpetuate us down into the dismal abyss of pain and angst and
Yeah.
dis-ease.
Yeah. I mean, I sound like a total hippie, like tune in, turn on, and drop out. But I think meditation does that for you. You
Yeah.
kind of become a little more impervious to the barrage.
Mm.
And if you go to YouTube, you can watch people in their comfortable, different level of cleanliness, different level of styling homes and hear things of value that people just want to share.
Yeah.
That's a platform for our $5 million. You get to just be a human and keep becoming.
Yeah. I love
Maybe.
that. Be a human and keep becoming. There you go.
Yeah, because I mean, as much as we like to believe things can be the same, they'll never be the same for very long. Everything is in a constant change cycle. Some cycles are long, some cycles are short. Some of them can't end fast enough.
Yeah. I know, right? It's like everything is temporary. That sucks. Not when it sucks. That's a beautiful thing when it's one of those things where you're like, okay, I'm ready for this to end.
Right? Yes, this would be great.
Yeah. I
But
don't know.
I think when we're in our own painful cycles too, they don't end fast enough.
No. And the joy never lasts long enough. I mean, on some level, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, just talking about how the brain works.
Right.
We are biologically programmed to remember every slight and insult and awful thing somebody says to us and hear and gloss over and move on from the, wow, you look really vibrant today.
Mm.
Are you feeling happy? Because it just your face is glowing, right?
Yeah.
Well, we hear that and then it's gone.
And I think many of us, like, that's an uncomfortable thing to receive. Like, we're not used to hearing things like that. That is not
Yeah.
a human, like, that's not normal. Maybe that's not fair to say. I just feel like because we're like by nature, we observe and retain and attach to the negative, the bad, the I don't know. I don't love either one of those words, but that's where I'm landing.
Sure.
And then when the kindness or compassion or compliment even where those beautiful observations of your current state when it's in a glorious place come in, you're like, wait, what? I
Right?
don't know how to receive that. And I'm not saying it's true for everyone, but I'm saying in my experience, it's been true for many, if not most. And that was much of my life. Even still today, there are times where I'm like, oh, I'm not comfortable receiving that really, really ridiculously kind, observant thing you just said. Like, because that's just not, I don't think I've ever even allowed it. I was going to say it wasn't necessarily my norm in my life, but also that's probably not true. It's just, it wasn't my norm because I was like, oh, hell no, I'm not comfortable with that. Don't do it.
You just deflect. Pew, pew.
Right. Oh, let's change the subject and fast. I'm uncomfortable.
And some of it might be the culture that we're in Minnesota. I bump up against this all the time when like I'm doing a workshop and I ask people to write down something they're good at. Like it doesn't have to be brain surgery.
Right.
You can be a good speller or you can be good at pouring your coffee without getting it all over the counter.
Yeah.
It I'm not giving parameters of what that means. Write down something you're good at, and people will sit there and they'll squirm and they'll hem and they'll haw. And like, I can't, it's such a culture of don't talk about your wins, don't talk about what you're good at, don't talk
Mm.
about, don't brag, never, ever brag. Maybe that's why I shrug and shake a little at the idea of being an expert, right?
Yeah. I've only recently embraced that term, but I think what I did is I redefined the definition for myself. It just
Right?
means something a smidgy different because I was very much attaching it to this very specific thing that I deem impossible for anyone unless you're completely enlightened,
Right.
And I don't believe
And
that anymore. I don't
what
define
if
it.
you're living in a headspace where the idea of being good at something has that same kind of
Yeah.
tower of unapproachable space? That's a hard place to live.
Well, and I think when you were talking about your students too, where I was just like reflecting on why do we think being like when someone asks you, what are you good at? Why do
Mhm.
we, I feel like there's a certain like baseline level that we deem it has to hit before it's worthy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Which
a
is
hundred
actually, I
percent.
think, how we tick with our own self worth. Like, if we don't hit a certain threshold, then we couldn't possibly be worthy. And what
Yeah.
is it about our humaning that does that? Because I just
Don't
think, why
know.
can't you be good at sweeping
Sure.
or pouring your coffee without spilling or, the other things? Like, I don't know. I think the things that are unique to us that we do might be the most beautiful things to claim at being good at. But I don't think
Yeah.
we observe them very often.
And I think our flaws, the things that
Yeah.
make us uniquely our
Yes,
own, not shiny people all the time,
exactly.
uh, like laughing at inappropriate times.
Oh, good
Sometimes
God.
I laugh
I'm
at
really
very
good at that.
appropriate times, and sometimes I laugh at incredibly inappropriate times. Yeah, that's one of the things that makes me me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe it's age that makes me go, maybe I don't need to apologize for that anymore.
Yeah. It's funny how much this is like, I don't know if we're shifting gears here or not, but like the older I get, the more I'm just like, yeah, I don't care in the same way about how the world receives me. And I'm not saying I'm not compassionate and kind. I'm just saying like I'm really okay with being me. And I
Yeah,
understand that that's not for everyone, but I
sure.
don't need it to be. I don't even want it to be.
Right. You don't have to be everybody's cup of tea.
Yes. And it might spill all over the counter and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. When I was teaching teacher training, I had some interesting interactions with some different sections of classes over the years where people would talk about cultivating their yoga voice before we would do the teach out.
Mm,
And, some interesting results. So, I mean, obviously, some people have very melodic voices to begin with. Some people have
mm.
very resonant voices that like get into your bones. And we would talk about this. And my answer was always just use your voice.
Yeah, be you.
Because then you don't have to remember what you're supposed to sound like when you're doing this and what you're supposed to sound like when you're doing that.
Right. And I think people maybe forget, maybe not, but that our voices do shift based on our energy, our mindset, our
Yeah,
enthusiasm. My guiding a meditation voice is very different than excited, bubbly, holy shit, like, Michelle. They're different things.
yeah.
But it's still me, but it's what's bubbling up inside me that's creating my voice to either be super fast, rapid, loud
Right.
versus like relaxed. Oh my God, is she falling asleep? You know?
Yep, yep. I've had a couple students say that sometimes in final relaxation, when I'm talking, they're bummed that they missed something that I say
Uh,
because I'm not talking very loud because it's a very quiet, still room, right? It's
mhm.
still my voice, but it's a quiet, still room, and so I think I'm speaking appropriately, and it just comes back to um, what I've heard from my teachers over the year. If I say something, even if you know I'm talking, even if you know the words that I'm saying, but it doesn't come through for you as something meaningful, as something that you're really hearing and feeling, it's not for you.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry that you're going to miss something that's for you.
Well, oh, Jesus. Like, I'm just thinking about the human nature of FOMO.
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
much fear about missing out. So much, oh my gosh, if they have that experience and I don't, then something's wrong with me, or I missed out, or I'm a scarcity, right? It's
Yeah. I won't know the right words. I won't have this inside joke.
like we missed an opportunity for some sort of wisdom that is only achievable by that one statement that Don said in the at the end of a yoga class.
Oh my gosh, that's the most ridiculous statement of all time. There was one piece of wisdom the human race needed that was only available that one moment in final relaxation.
But
No,
sometimes doesn't it feel that way to us as humans? You know, it's like sometimes you're just like, well, shit, I feel like that could have been profound. And I missed it. It's just another way to beat ourselves up if we're being honest. You know, it's like, oh, I haven't beat myself up in a
right?
while. Well, let me seek. Oh, I'll find that thread. I'll find that thread every time.
Or another way for your brain to distract you from it because you're not ready for it yet.
Yeah. I think I think having that realization was one of the most beautiful gifts I could have ever received. And I don't even remember when it landed. But there was a time where it was like understanding that divine protects my humanness. You know, my humaning is super messy and not often not often wise. But when that divine gets to be part of it, it gets a lot better, you know.
Right?
And that doesn't have to be everybody's cup of tea, right? I just mean like there's a piece of you that has that wisdom, you know.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And
I mean, there's been many different theories on the brains and the level, the brains. I'm like a zombie. The zombies have many theories on the brains. No, but the different levels of consciousness and the different work done by the different parts of the brain. Um, I believe that there's part of us that is always looking out for us.
yeah.
But then,
And sometimes that's hard to lean into. It's just hard to lean into when your human is so messy and that worth is so low. It's hard to lean into and remember that there's more there for you that supports you and loves you, and like there's a piece of you that not only desperately wants to but actually does love you. You're
yeah,
human right here right now as is.
yeah,
But I think when you're in the habit maybe of believing that it's not possible for you or that just not quite yet,
yeah,
it's a really hard it's hard to grasp that thread. You know, it's not a glaring light in your face. It's something that's sort of been hidden behind walls and obstacles and barriers and, you know, protection. I don't know.
yeah. It's like that. I'll be happy when I reach this
When?
goal. I'll be
Yeah.
happy when. I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when.
I feel like
If that's
Shawn Achor did a, do you know who Shawn Achor is?
nope.
I can't remember. I think I have the name right. I'll put a link in the show notes if I can find it. But he did a study on happiness, and I think it was Harvard or Yale or one of the colleges where you would expect or anticipate that perhaps all the students are happy and excited and feeling accomplished. And what he found was they're not, because the minute they meet a goal, they just make another goal. So they don't ever land in that place of celebration and happiness. It's just like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah,
here's the next thing and the next thing, because it's never quote unquote enough. And it's like,
yeah,
yeah, to be human, I think that is a very human thing to do. And it's like, how do we navigate life in a new and different way? Like, is that even possible so that we can, I mean, I know on some level it's possible because the way I show up in the world with myself and how
hmm,
mean I am or not to myself has evolved exponentially over the years of deciding to look and do some work with and for myself.
yeah.
So I don't know.
If we're intentional, I think that we can move in that direction. And with practice, it gets to be easier and easier. I mean, I have this ongoing trope in my head about how awful and hard it is to offer classes and workshops about self-love
Hmm.
because no one wants to sign up for them.
Yeah.
because either they think it's gross or it's unattainable, or, I'm not worthy of it because I haven't reached that when, right? I'll be
Yeah.
happy when. You can love me when. I'll love me when. And really, if you talk to them about the people that they love, they're not measuring their people. They're not saying, okay, I'll love you when you get a degree. I'll love you when you get a new car.
Yeah.
I'll love you when you buy me dinner or
Yeah.
make me dinner. Um, that's not how we love.
To be fair, some people might do that, but that's not love.
Sometimes we call things by the wrong name.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't know. I just got a ping of like, well, I mean, to be fair, but it's like exactly. It's like that's not what it is, and that's not what we're talking about. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, being messy humans is self love.
Yeah. And I think it's important to note there is no baseline, there is no threshold, there is no bottom step that you have to step over to start
Yeah.
loving yourself.
You
Or
exist and
yeah.
you are therefore worthy.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
And there's,
And I think the lines are forms of avoidance sometimes. Well, maybe always. It's like shit. This is so
yeah,
uncomfortable. How about if I just like give myself an unachievable for a hot second, so I don't actually have to go there, and that's okay. Maybe it's another way of divine protection, like or your higher self protection of like I'm not ready, and that's
sure.
okay. It's totally
Sure.
okay. And at some point, it becomes a choice because at some point, like we've all had our rock bottom moments. How do you get up from that rock bottom moment? You're way below the original baseline you set for yourself, but the only way out is to take a step and to make
Yeah.
a choice, to literally choose yourself, to
Yeah.
literally decide, I'm gonna do this. And it's
To take
I'm the
another
only one
breath.
who can.
Yeah.
Yeah, take another breath, open your eyes, look around.
Yeah. Be.
We'll look around and then look within, right? Like let yourself be, allow yourself, invite yourself. I don't even like I like invite,
Invite.
inspire, be curious. I think the let yourself can come with those added layers of the conditioning and the programming of guilt and shame. It's like, oh yeah, I'm not letting myself. What's wrong with me? And if I'm curious about it, I'm maybe perhaps a little less judgmental and a little more open, and it's a lot more playful
yeah.
and fun. That's the thing. It's like I'm landing in, I don't know, I don't do resolutions or that kind of stuff, but my end of 2025 into 2026 as I'm moving the studio space, I'm just recognizing that like all of my calendar is fun. It's healing work,
Yay.
but it's fun stuff. It can lead us to the deeper dive stuff, but I mean, even the deep dive stuff, the way I work, it can still be funny and fun. And I mean, it's
Yeah.
always going to be uncomfortable, but just the classes, I'm like, I just keep hearing like, I need to just have some fucking fun. I think we all do. And so I'm going to
Yeah.
have fucking fun and you can come with me or not. That's fine. But
Yeah.
I just think to be lighthearted and playful and human, it is so much softer and open. Like the language of like, hey, do you want to explore the chakras and see how that might support you? Versus like, hey, you want to dive into some inner child and shadow work healing and trauma healing? Like they're just very different things. And I think those things are there comes a time where they're they're
And
important for you.
they may both address the same thing in the same person.
Yes.
You can get there from different directions,
Yeah.
right? I'm with you on the play. Like I offer a retreat every year, and I've been doing these very serious, dedicated practices and things where we grow and grow. And this year, my theme is play.
Yeah.
We're just going to go on retreat and play. There may
Beautiful.
be some deeper messages to take away, and we'll be in community, and that'll come out, and that'll be awesome. But
Well, and I
we need
do
play,
think it feels to me like play is like you can't force your way into the deeper stuff. You almost have to play your way there.
right? Well, I
Because
mean,
if it's a demand or a must or a expectation, Good luck.
right?
Yeah.
There's this dichotomy of we think that children, well, I mean, this day and age, especially with all of our technology, we think that children need to learn to play. But the fact is that children have always played to learn.
Yes.
And if we can flex that muscle and get better at it as adults, if we can be playful about ourselves, if we can be playful about being human, playful about, I got a bad haircut,
Yeah.
playful about my face is not looking like my face this morning,
Right?
stuff happens. Um, we're going to grow. We're going to learn. We don't have to like slog through a mine to learn,
Right. Well, I just think that phrase learn to play is ringing in my head. And I'm like, what a horrible statement. Learn
right?
to play, it takes all the fun out of it. That's like an oxymoron.
Oh yeah. When my oldest was very little, like a neighbor came over with her child and we were having a little play date and she said, "Have you taught your daughter how to have tea parties yet?"
Mm.
And I was like, "What? What? Like, what? No. Why? Like, what? Hmm. We don't drink tea.
Yeah.
I don't host tea parties. I mean, that would be a natural thing if I hosted tea parties or if it was something that she was exposed to. But if she wanted to sit her stuffed animals around the table and serve them
Uh-huh.
food, yeah, I mean, she would do that. We eat meals all the time, every day, right?
Right.
Um, I'm not going to decide how she plays with her toys.
Yeah. That's funny. I'm sitting here thinking about I'm back to being human and exploring what that might look and feel like and
Yeah.
expectations, whether they be ours or others. And I'm just thinking, this is a weird question, but why are we so quick to judge our human, but we just, it's going to sound terrible, but like blindly trust the divine? I think that
Mm.
describes my whole way of growing up is it was blind trust in the divine. And that was a very different relationship than what I have now, which is I've cultivated a relationship that has built trust. It's not blind trust. It's
Yeah.
experiential. It's experiential trust,
Yeah.
which is a very different thing. But I just wonder what, I probably know why, at least in my upbringing of the way, like how the religion in my household worked. I maybe understand why we're not judging the divine, but I just think, why are we so quick to judge ourselves and don't ever consider that we might need to consider a lot more? I'm not like challenging people to question or judge the divine, but I am saying, it's just a perspective of like, why are we so quick to rush to judge ourselves and then just blindly, even other humans, right? Just like, oh, they're good. We're gonna trust that, and then
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that my understanding of what you said about trusting the divine has come about with like a depth finder.
Mm.
Like I I hear something, I experience something, I think something, and I do a little depth check. Is it a little true? Is it a deep truth? Is it a profound truth? Or is it just not true for me?
I love that. And and truth can be temporary. Like it might be true
Yeah,
today, but it might not be true tomorrow.
right? And what if, back to self-love, instead of trying to just turn those judgmental thoughts about ourselves off like a light switch,
Yeah.
we allowed space to have the thought and then go, huh, is it a little true? Is it a deep truth? Is it a profound truth? Or is it just not true for me or not
Yeah,
true
and what
right
does
now?
it really mean? Like, what is it telling you? Because often those judgments are because of a desire that's unmet or a need even that's unmet, right? And
Yeah,
we don't consider, well, I don't know. I think if I'm in a state of judgment, I'm not considering what unmet need might be there. I'm just judging
yeah,
blindly, blanketly, conditionally. I'm in like full blown, just, what do you call that? Where it's just like, it's an automatic. It's not even
Yeah.
thought about or intentional, which brings us
Yeah.
back to your point about that intentionality of life, of choice, of
Yeah.
all of it is a pretty profound, as I'm saying, as we're having this conversation, that feels pretty profound. That feels like a incredible way to play.
Yeah.
What happens if I'm intentional? Can I get curious about that? And how might that support my humaning?
Yeah.
To make it a verb again.
My last retreat was all about intention, and it's one of my favorite tools. But like waking up in the morning and just generally we look in the mirror for at least something, brushing our teeth, whatever. Um, and just thinking to yourself, what if I just thought today I'm enough?
Mm.
What if whatever else happens, whatever other thoughts come in today, I let that be the basis, the grounding, the anchor that holds
And
me to the present.
do you think that sometimes I do you think that sometimes we tell ourselves that because it could get better or we could do or be more, that it's not enough? Like, do you think that's part of like the vibration of what we're telling ourselves is that, well, it could be better, so it can't be enough?
Mm. You know, I don't think I have a good relationship to that concept
I don't know if I do either. It just came in. I mean, maybe that was, you know.
because I've always assumed it's because I'm the fourth of five children. I spend very little time going, things would be more perfect. Things would be better if,
Mm,
and I have this vision. My superpower, what am I good at? I'm really good at making the best of any situation.
mm,
And it's not a superpower. It's a dual-edged sword, right?
I hear you.
So I don't know the answer to your question, and I think it's worth exploring.
Yeah, I don't know that I know the answer to my question either. It was just it just came in throughout this conversation, which is why I love these conversations. Can I shift gears, or does that feel like I mean, I don't want to leave anything hanging
No, it seems like a good place to
to
pull
bubble
it all
up.
together.
I want to ask you before we wrap this up because you've mentioned it and I'm curious about it. And I don't know if we've ever really sat down and talked about it. Would you be willing to tell us more about that? I think it's a fall retreat you do. Just will you walk
Yeah.
us through what your retreat might look like? I just think that's a great thing to share because I think sometimes retreats in community are such a lovely way to get outside ourselves and have checks and balances, but also to play and connect. And because I think sometimes when we're feeling in that messy place, we just want to hole up and hide. And
Yeah.
I feel like knowing what I know about you and how you show up in this world and what you're good at, I feel like to take a chance and go on a retreat similar to what you offer. So I'm just wondering if you'll
Yeah.
share about that.
Thank you. I love this opportunity.
Oh,
I'm notoriously bad at self-promotion. Um, so my idea for retreat is generally to get people out of their day-to-day, so out of their house. So we go somewhere. It's been held a couple different places. It's going to be at a new place this year, which is almost like a Verbo or an Airbnb. So we have the space all to ourselves. There's no staff there. I'm going to be doing all the cooking,
ooh,
which is
lucky
exciting for
people.
me. I grew up watching cooking shows and I worked for a chef after college for like 5 years. So yeah, I'm a pretty good
Yeah,
cook.
lucky people. I meant it.
Um, there's going to be yoga. There's going to be sound bath. There's a dedicated game and crafting room in the
Oh,
space that
cool.
we'll be in. There's a lounge. We could have a movie night. There's a bonfire pit. There's a pickleball court in a separate building. There's an 8-person, not sauna. Is it a sauna? Yeah, I think it's a sauna. A room that gets really hot. That's not a steam room, not my jam. But it's
Sounds
there because people really enjoy that.
yeah.
It's on a lake. There's a little dock. There's paddle boards and kayaks, and um, there's going to be opportunities to meet people and to talk about what's on your mind in a
Mm.
free, open way. I'm going to try and make a dance night. We have a
Ooh.
little, everybody puts in a song for the playlist, and we take down the pickleball net and turn
Oh,
most of
that's
the lights
amazing.
off and dance our little hearts out.
Love it. That's amazing.
Just
And this
free
is
to
in
be you and
Minnesota,
me.
correct? You don't like travel outside of Minnesota for this, or do you?
Correct. I
Okay.
prefer to stay in Minnesota.
Yeah. I think it's more accessible for people in Minnesota.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Last couple years, it's been near Cambridge, which is about an hour north of Minneapolis. And this year, it's going to be up by Mille Lacs Lake, but it's not on Mille Lacs Lake. It's on a smaller lake. And that's an hour and a half north of Minneapolis. So we're getting a little farther.
That still seems so doable. But this is a girl who traveled 4 hours or 3.5 to 4 hours to a cabin every weekend growing up. So,
Well, and we'll travel for 24 hours to get to Thailand, right?
right. Yes. That's fair. That's fair.
Um, and the format last year and this year, it's Thursday night to Sunday lunchtime.
Okay.
It's a longer, like really settle in.
So you
You can
really
have
get
your
to
own
just,
room,
yeah.
or if you really want to share a room, there's king size beds. So whatever makes you happy. Uh,
Beautiful.
spaces to be by yourself, spaces to be with other people, some informal workshops, and just about play and how play, the underlying psychological structures of play and the underlying structures of happiness and how those dovetail together and
Hmm.
what they have to do with connection.
Amazing. Beautiful. And do you have a date for this yet?
It's September 24th through 27th.
Okay. I mean, I wasn't
It'll be
intending for it to be like this specific one because this podcast is going to live in each, like this is an annual thing you
sure,
do, right? It's not
sure,
just, I
sure.
mean,
Yes.
but because we're recording this now before it happens, like let's talk about when it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's
So
2026.
yeah, yeah, 2026. That's fair. I mean, it'll show the launch date when they listen.
Yes.
So if you have links, we'll put them in the show notes as well.
They are not live yet.
Yeah,
I
that's
still
okay.
have some
Even
logistics to
just the
figure out.
contact information, or they can contact me and and I'll make sure they get what they need. So, or I can
Yep.
add them to the show notes later as well when it
Uh,
is.
upwardfacingdawn.com.
Okay,
When
perfect.
when it's live and it's ready for reservations, it'll be right on the main menu.
Beautiful.
Retreat.
Beautiful. And then I think the last full circle, does that feel, I don't want to interrupt you. I got excited because
No.
I'm excited about your retreats. And then the other thing I'm really excited about is that you said yes to Aligned and Integrated. And you're going to
Yes.
be teaching at the virtual summit. And that's virtual, so people can join us from anywhere. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's many practitioners coming together in a virtual space where like teaching in this at the same time, but different lanes of, whether it be the metaphysical or, holistic well-being or personal
Yeah.
development. And I love that you're joining us and offering your humanness
That's all
and
I can ever
playfulness.
offer.
I love that, you can take, things that can be really deeply powerful tools like yoga therapy
Yeah.
and make them playful and fun and accessible,
Yeah.
because sometimes that stuff, like, I mean, I haven't studied yoga therapy specifically, but we've studied some of the same yoga tracks and
Yes.
things. And some of that stuff can get really deep and overwhelming and like, what? And you just have this way of really bringing it to human. Let's make this simple without taking away the powerful. And I just think that's a
Yeah.
beautiful skill. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that compliment. I think we can just play our way through life, dance our
Yeah.
way through therapy.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be, yeah. I get that question a lot about therapy, and even even my personal friends and things ask me about my opinions on mental health practices and therapies. And I'm like, I am not an expert on that, but I can talk to you about it. And the idea for me is if it's going to be therapeutic, then it's not going to be a constant pain and suffering.
Yeah.
We, what do I like to say? That we lovingly hold ourselves to the fire of transformation.
Hmm.
It's like toasting a marshmallow.
It is there's a fine line between a really great roasted toasted marshmallow
Yeah,
and a pile of charcoal.
right? And
Or
you do that by
started.
getting a little closer and pulling back and getting a little closer and pulling back. It's okay to be in any step of that process. It's
Yes.
part of being human.
Yes. That feels like a beautiful place to land. What do you think?
I think it sounds good.
Thank you for joining me today, Don. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Michelle. I appreciate you. It's always a delight to be in your presence, even on the computer.
I love a fellow giggler. It's so fun. On
Yeah,
that note,
yeah.
thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, share, all that stuff. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.